our top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts Bringing Value Home. My brother was not part of the protest. KEON FOGENAY'S brother speaks out. 15 and 21-year-old shot and killed in attempted robbery of Chinese supermarket. Small and medium-sized enterprises fund coming soon. President Ali and the GNRSC chair amplifies calls for drivers to exercise caution on the roadways. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm ALETHEA Grant with the Wednesday 9th April 2025 edition of the HGP Nightly News. This is what you need to know this evening. The family of a man who was killed by police plans to produce evidence to investigators that he was not part of Tuesday's protest. You'll hear more from Travis Chase.
As the families of Ronaldo Peters and KEON FOGENAY, both of whom were killed by police in Linden on Monday and Tuesday, the family of FOGENAY is calling for criminal accountability, claiming that the father of three was not part of the fiery protest on Tuesday.
He's coming home?
Yeah, he don't come to Linden.
Everybody say he was coming home, everybody said.
And he must see what going on, and must stop by Pinhead car there. This is where you jump off the bike by Pinhead car, and you bike left by Pinhead car.
That's FOGENAY's brother, Joshua George. According to George, his brother was shot to his head and died en route to the hospital.
All they tell me that the ground close down and win it. I get a picture of me, I take out the picture, I see how he's shooting a guy and be prime. I take out the picture before the shooting starts. First when the shooting starts, me go the first one get shoot. Then I run out and I talk. Them people there breaking them down, what's not, and I see where the crowd was not, but my brother was nowhere wrong.
Do you know if your brother and Primus had any previous
No, them then had Kaidi.
A tearful George, who himself was shot and injured by police, said that it is time the police take accountability for their actions.
I want to feel pleased. And I need justice, and I need it by the police. Them need to go to jail.
The police, in summing up the incident, said, quote, the wrongs discharged at the protesters caused the demise of a protester, unquote. The Caribbean's Regional Security System, RSS, has been called in to investigate the police killings of Peters and FOGENAY. An unspecified number of ranks are under close arrest, and the police force said its Office of Professional Responsibility has commenced an investigation. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Travis. Following escalating protests in Linden after the death of two young men and several police officers receiving injuries, President Irfaan Ali on Tuesday evening visited the mining town where he met with the families of the victims. More details from Tiana Cole.
President Irfaan Ali on Tuesday visited the mining town of Linden, where he met with the families of two young men who were killed by police within 24 hours. The incidents sparked widespread unrest after police shot and killed 21-year-old Ronaldo Peters and 32-year-old KEON FOGENAY, triggering mass protest and national concern. The president met with the families at the Watuco guest house, where he offered his condolences and emphasized the need for calm and compassion during this time.
And I assure them that this will be an independent investigation led by the RSS in the shortest possible time. The terms of reference will be developed. They have specific questions that they will share with us. And the investigation would be independent, and that the recommendations and findings of those investigations will be respected.
The president added that he understands the community's pain and is committed to working directly with residents to restore trust and safety.
We are in close contact with both families. We'll be working with both families. There are children involved, there are mothers involved, and an important part of this is to ensure that the children, the mothers, and also the parents, that we also, their emotions and their pain, there is pain, and we have to work with all of them.
Meanwhile, Attorney General and Minister for Legal Affairs Annie Nandlal, during his weekly program Issues in the News on Tuesday evening, assured a thorough investigation into the fatal shootings.
What has been promised is an arm's length, independent, impartial investigation. And wherever the chips fall, so be it. The President has assured that no stone will be left unturned.
The Attorney General further appealed for peace and calm in the mining town.
Two wrongs do not equal a right. Damaging public property or damaging private property, assaulting the police officers, behaving in an unruly and unlawful manner will not improve the situation. It will not change anything that has happened. For that matter, it may worsen and aggravate the situation further. So the appeal is to stay calm, be peaceful, be obedient to the laws.
Less than 24 hours later, protests escalated dramatically. Demonstrators set fires and blocked major routes, and another man, a passerby, KEON, FOGENAY'S, a 32-year father of four, was fatally shot by police during a confrontation where protesters hurled missiles at the police. According to the Guyana Police Force, the shooting occurred during an attempt to disperse protesters who had turned violent, throwing missiles and damaging property. Early Tuesday morning, protesters flooded the streets of Linden, blocking several major thoroughfares and setting ablaze tires and other debris in the town, following a police shooting incident that led to the death of a 21-year-old man. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
And in more killings, this time a robbery gone wrong. 2 bandits were shot and killed in an attempted armed robbery of a Chinese supermarket on Hatfield Street. Dacia Richards reports.
The supermarket bandits have been identified as 15-year-old Tyrese Adams and 22-year-old Orwin Garway, both of East Rumvelt. They were shot by a security guard during an attempted robbery at a Chinese supermarket in Hatfield Street. According to the police, 4 males armed with handguns on Tuesday evening attempted to rob the Jai Jai supermarket. The bandits approached separate cashier booths in the supermarket, with one of them pointing his gun at one of the cashiers, while the other ransacked the second cashier booth. A 35-year-old security guard who was on duty at the time was armed with a loaded 9mm pistol when the 2 bandits entered the supermarket dressed in dark clothing with ski masks and guns. The guard said he emerged from inside the supermarket and confronted the bandits who attempted to escape. That's when he discharged his firearm. One of the 2 bandits fell in the supermarket, while the other ran out of the building and collapsed on the road. 2 other males were observed standing outside the supermarket but made good their escape. 2 motorcycles were also in front of the supermarket with keys in the ignition. The emergency medical technicians were summoned and both were pronounced dead. The police said upon processing the crime scene, a Glock 17 with 8 matching rounds was found next to the body of one of the bandits. 1 live 9mm round of ammunition, 13 9mm spent shells, and 3 fragments were also found inside the supermarket, while 1 9mm spent shell and 3 fragments were found on the road in front of the supermarket. Adams received gunshot wounds to his right shoulder, stomach, lower back, and left hip, while Garway received gunshot wounds to both sides of his ribs, hands, nose, and right shoulder. The bodies of Orwin Garway and Tyrese Adams were escorted to the Memorial Gardens Funeral Home and are awaiting an autopsy. Investigations are currently ongoing. For HGP Nightly News, I am Dacia Richards.
Thank you, Dacia. Join us after the break for more news.
Keeping up with the kids' growth spurts might mean it's time for a bigger fridge. Don't worry, at Quartz, we've got you. Save up to $50,000 on select fridges. Get a free grill or mixer with select stoves and more. Need to upgrade your home? Get smart TVs from as low as $32,999. Plus, shop today and pay later. And make your first payment in 30 days with Quartz Ready Finance. Whatever you need, we've got you. Only at Quartz, bringing value home. Offer ends April 23, 2025.
Welcome to SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover a solution that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical Inc. powering your life with elegance, quality, and care.
70% ethyl alcohol, Mighty Foam Hand Sanitizer eliminates 99.99% of all germs and even moisturizes in the process, leaving your skin clean and hydrated. Mighty Foam Hand Sanitizer. How do you stay clean?
Krishna Rock Establishment. No job is too small or too large. We specialize in all types of fabricating, machinery, excavator repairs, rice field pumps, and hydraulic hoses. Visit us at Lot 113, Block CC Monrepo, East Coast, Demerara, or call 220-9624, 616-9416, or 619-7880. At Krishna Rock Establishment, no job is too small or too large.
Welcome back. You're watching the HGP Nightly News. As we continue, a senior People's Progressive Party executive member is denying accusations leveled against him of attempting to blackmail the Mohammeds. You'll hear more from Daisy Richards.
Attorney General Anil Nandlal is denying that he was the one who was sent to the home of businessmen Azruddin and Nazar Mohammed to beg them not to run for political office, or they will be investigated for alleged crimes.
I have never spoken to Mr. Azruddin Mohammed in the presence of Mr. Jagdeo. That is the second thing. The impression he gave when he made that statement is that Mr. Jagdeo and I were together and we spoke to him.
Speaking on his social media program Issues in the News, the Attorney General said he had met with the Mohammeds after they were sanctioned by the United States, only in the capacity of Attorney General.
I met with the Mohammeds a few times after the sanctions. I was required to do so as Attorney General in order to explain to them that under the law, the government would have to take certain measures.
The Mohammeds, who were sanctioned by the United States in 2024 for allegedly evading U.S. $50 million in taxes from Guyana on more than 10,000 kilograms of gold exports, has hinted that he will be entering politics for the 2025 general and regional elections. Since that hint, he has faced the wrath of the People's Progressive Party Civic, to the extent that their licensed firearms have since been taken away, and the Guyana Revenue Authority has moved to impose more than 900 million import duties on luxury and other vehicles that had already been cleared and duties paid for 4 years ago.
I never met them without their lawyers. Every time I met with them, they had a team of lawyers. And those meetings were in respect of disengaging seamlessly from all government businesses.
Mr. Mohammed and his father Nazar Shell Mohammed has already said they were being targeted by the police and the Guyana Revenue Authority based on political instructions. For AGP Nightly News, I am Daisy Richards.
Guyana has strongly rejected Venezuela's latest attempt to misrepresent the 1966 Geneva Agreement following a letter from President Nicolas Maduro to the United Nations Secretary General. Tiana Cole has the details.
In that letter to the United Nations Secretary General on March 19, 2025, President Nicolas Maduro claimed that the territorial controversy over the Essequibo region was taken to the International Court of Justice (ICJ) without Venezuela's consent, in violation of the Geneva Agreement. However, Guyana has clarified that this interpretation is not only incorrect, but has already been dismissed by the ICJ in its ruling on December 18, 2020. The court ruled that the Geneva Agreement does in fact authorize judicial settlement of the controversy, specifically through the ICJ. The 1966 Geneva Agreement was signed by the United Kingdom and Venezuela in February 1966 and joined by Guyana upon its independence in May of that year. It outlined a process to address Venezuela's challenge to the 1899 Arbitral Award, which established the boundary between the two nations. The agreement allowed for 4 years of diplomatic negotiations, after which the parties were to agree on a peaceful settlement method under Article 33 of the UN Charter. If no agreement was reached, the decision would be left to the UN Secretary General. After 2 decades of unsuccessful diplomatic efforts, including prolonged good offices process, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres on January 30, 2018, determined that judicial settlement was the next appropriate step. Both parties were informed of this decision, which was made in accordance with Article 4.2 of the Geneva Agreement. Guyana subsequently filed a case with the ICJ on March 29, 2018, asking the court to determine the validity of the 1899 Arbitral Award and the boundary it established. Venezuela objected, arguing that the ICJ lacked jurisdiction. However, after reviewing extensive written submissions and oral arguments, the court issued its judgment on jurisdiction in December 2020, stating that it had been quote-unquote validly seized of the case and confirming its authority to resolve the matter. The ICJ explicitly found that Guyana and Venezuela had quote-unquote mutually conferred upon the Secretary General of the United Nations the authority to choose the means of settlement, and that the Geneva Agreement does provide for a judicial resolution. This ruling under the UN Charter is binding on both countries. Despite this, the Maduro administration continues to ignore the ICJ's decision, falsely insisting that the Geneva Agreement only allows for diplomatic negotiations. Guyana maintains that this issue has already been definitively resolved by the world's highest court. Following the jurisdiction ruling, the ICJ has moved on to the merits of the case. Guyana submitted 2 written pleadings, while Venezuela's second submission is due in August 2025. Oral hearings are expected in early 2026, after which the court will issue a final binding judgment. Guyana is pledged to abide by the ruling regardless of the outcome. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Tiana. The Guyana Elections Commission says the non-renewal of the contract of its legal officer, Kurt De Silva, resulted from actions eroding trust and confidence in his ability to carry out specified duties. Antonio Day reports.
The Guyana Elections Commission, in a statement on Wednesday, said its former legal officer's primary responsibility was to diligently and faithfully represent the interests of his client. According to GECOM, the recent verification case, the legal officer violated his duty by introducing new arguments that contradicted the chief elections officer's sworn position without prior discussion or authorization. The elections body said De Silva's actions undermined the trust and reliance that was placed in him. And I quote, "The legal officer was required to act within the scope of authority granted by his principal, in this case the CEO. By acting outside this scope, particularly in favoring the applicant, the legal officer violated his fundamental principle. The actions taken by the legal officer severely eroded trust and confidence in his ability to fulfill his responsibilities, especially in legal matters concerning the conduct of elections. As a consequence, the chairman denied the legal officer's request for further employment," the statement continued. The elections body explained that while the legal officer's performance appraisal received rare reviews with a proposal from the chairman to renew his employment contract, The performance review period ended on February 10, 2025. The legal officers serve in the position until March 31, 2025. GECOM stated that it was confronted with a question of whether the legal officers' submission to the court were made without regard for the consequences or in error, and that it believed the submissions were made without regard for the potential consequences. On Tuesday, opposition nominee Commissioners Vincent Alexander, Charles Corbin, and Desmond Trotman has expressed distrust in Chairperson Justice retired Claudette Singh amid her actions towards De Silva.
What happened today is an abomination. It's the only word that I can use to describe her retreat from a position which she advanced, that this person, the LO, his contract should be renewed. How can you, holding the kind of office that she has, can make this recommendation to a commission and then retreat simply because she was put under pressure?
The commissioners are concerned about unilateral decisions made at the level of GECOM.
We have a situation where decisions are made outside of the commission and implemented unknown to the commission.
I'm Antonio D reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Antonio. More news after this break. Stay with us.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. St Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call St Waste Management today at 218-1455.
Smart Minds Educational Institute, offering preschool, nursery, and primary levels. Finally, a school that is every parent's dream. Located at 69 Crow Street, offering academic excellence, trained qualified teachers, small class sizes, personalized care, and one-to-one attention for your little ones. So if your child is for preschool, nursery, or primary level, come to Smart Mind, located at 69 Crow Street, or call 231-4885 or 600-9229 to enroll now.
Keeping up with the kids' growth spurts might mean it's time for a bigger fridge. Don't worry, at Quartz, we've got you. Save up to $50,000 on select fridges. Get a free grill or mixer with select stoves and more. Need to upgrade your home? Get smart TVs from as low as $32,999. Plus, shop today and pay later. And make your first payment in 30 days with Quartz Ready Finance. Whatever you need, we've got you. Only at Quartz, bringing value home. Offer ends April 23, 2025.
Thanks for staying with us. You're watching the HGP Nightly News. The establishment of a small and medium-sized enterprise development fund geared at creating co-investment opportunities across sectors will soon become a reality. So says President Irfan Ali. Antonio Day has that story.
We want every single Guyanese, regardless of how much income you have, to have an opportunity to be in the wealth creation frame and the prosperity frame of our country.
That was Head of State Irfan Ali during the 2025 Local Content Summit at the Marriott Hotel Georgetown. Ali outlined a three-pronged strategy to accelerate Guyana's development through the empowerment of local businesses and citizens. He noted that these strategies will aid in the development of a modernized financial system.
We have to match the incentive or the wealth investment program with financial literacy. So we will have a massive deployment of community-based initiatives.
Some of the key initiatives include launching of a national payment platform by the end of the year and establishing a small and medium-sized enterprise SME development fund.
So we're going to be looking at how we can incentivize regulations to further support local businesses, to further engineer the building of partnership in new areas.
The president also underscored the importance of creating in-country value through redirecting spending and investment in the local economy.
So how do we create the opportunities for businesses, individuals to redirect their spending back in the local economy. The system must create inbuilt incentives, inbuilt opportunities through which you can get a higher return by reinvesting your capital, reinvesting your resources in the local economy.
I'm Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Antonio. Chair of the Guyana National Road Safety Council has amplified calls for road users to slow down. This call came on the heels of yet another horrific road accident along Heroes Highway. Daisy Richards has been following that story.
Earl Lambert, chairman of the Guyana National Road Safety Council, speaking to this newscast on Wednesday, reiterated the call for road users to exercise caution, particularly drivers.
There are factors that contribute to these accidents, and in many instances, they're preventable.
Allegations surfaced that the man involved in Tuesday's horrific accident on the Heroes Highway was experiencing domestic challenges. Should there be any truth to the allegation, the GNRSC chairman had this to say to persons going through such issues.
If, they take into consideration what is it, are the issues, and you can deal with the issues before.
Also addressing initiatives between the Ministry of Home Affairs, the Council, and other stakeholders to road safety awareness, Lambert pointed out that several police officers have expressed concern about visiting rum shops and bars to spread the message.
That is part of the issue too, drinking and driving. So my concern is that there are several factors that contribute to accidents.
The Ministry of Home Affairs officially launched a Safe Road Intelligence System, SRIS. The system, which uses Guyana National Bureau of Standards approved and certified cameras that automatically detect traffic violations, which include speeding, obscured license plates, and dangerous modifications like excessively tinted windshields. Tickets will only be issued for speeding, but a summons may be issued for the vehicle to be inspected by police that can lead to possible charges. For HGP Nightly News, I am Daisy Richards.
Stay tuned for regional news.
Sip on Fruta and win groceries for 6 months. Plus, score one of 6 65-inch TVs or over $1 million in cash prizes. Be one of 53 lucky cash and prize winners. Here's how. Buy any Fruta juice, find the code starting with BB, enter online or via WhatsApp. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Fruta Fruit Juice. Don't miss out. Drink Fruta and enter today. Real nice Fruta.
Interested in honoring or paying tribute to a loved one, or just making a loved one feel special? HGP TV offers you all that and more. Air your birthday greetings, death announcements, and wedding anniversaries on HGP TV today. HGP TV offers affordable prices, convenience, and great services. Call us on 220-3660 or email us at sales@hgptv.com.
Good evening, I'm Daisy Richards with Wednesday's edition of the Regional News. We begin with news from the Dominican Republic. A catastrophic roof collapse at a nightclub in the Dominican Republic's capital killed at least 113 people on Tuesday, and emergency crews were working frantically after nightfall to pull survivors from the rubble. About 155 people were injured. Families of the victims gathered near the Jet Set nightclub seeking information about their loved ones. The deceased include a popular singer, provincial governor, and the former Major League Baseball pitcher, Octavio Dotel, authorities said. Juan Manuel Mendez, head of the Dominican Republic's Emergency Operations Center, said earlier on Tuesday that the exact number of people inside the club at the time of the collapse remained unclear. The disaster struck during a concert by popular Dominican merengue singer Ruby Perez, whose body was found on Wednesday morning according to authorities. The event was attended by politicians, athletes, and other prominent figures. The son of the Dominican Minister of Public Works and Communications, Eduardo Estrella, was also found among the deceased on Wednesday, authorities said. Another victim was Nelsie Cruz, the governor of the northern Monte Cristi province, President Luis Abinader said. Cruz was the sister of former baseball player Nelson Cruz, a 7-time MLB All-Star. Former MLB players Octavio Dutel and Tony Blanco also died in the collapse, local authorities confirmed. Dutel died in Roatan Local Hospital after being pulled from the debris, a spokesman for the nation's sports ministry said. Dutel, 51, debuted for the New York Mets in 1999 and played until 2013 for more than a dozen teams. Relatives were receiving psychological support and the cause of the roof collapse remained under investigation, officials said. While in St Vincent, almost 250 grams of cocaine was seized in Cumberland, St Vincent, resulting in the arrest of 4 men from Union Island and Chester Cottage. The arrest occurred on April 5 when officers intercepted a motor vehicle in Cumberland. During a search of the vehicle and its occupants, police recovered cocaine and a digital scale with suspected residue. 4 individuals were initially arrested, included Aquino Williams, 28, Omar Williams, 24, both of Union Island, Junior DeRoche, 28, of Union Island, and Jarrell Mayal, 23, of Chester Cottage. Following DeRoche's guilty plea at the Serious Offences Court on April 7, prosecutors withdrew charges against the other 3 men. DeRoche has been fined $6,000 East Caribbean dollars after pleading guilty to possession of a controlled drug for the purpose of trafficking. He will spend 3 months or 1 year imprisonment if he fails to pay the fine. In a separate charge, DeRoche was also fined an additional $3,000 East Caribbean dollars for drug possession with a 6-month imprisonment alternative. The court has granted a destruction order for the seized cocaine. Finally, Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro said on Tuesday he had signed an economic emergency decree pending National Assembly approval. The leader stated during a televised conference that the decree aims to preserve the country's economic balance in the face of tariffs and the cancellation of licenses. Thank you for watching. Do have a great rest of the week. Until next time.
My brother was not part of the protest. KEON FOGENAY'S brother speaks out. 15 and 21-year-old shot and killed in attempted robbery of Chinese supermarket. Small and medium-sized enterprises fund coming soon. President Ali and the GNRSC chair amplifies calls for drivers to exercise caution on the roadways. Those are our major headlines for these stories and more. Please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm ALETHEA Grant. Thanks for watching.